Hey everybody, Jewel Mayberry back with another super cool astrology video. And today we're talking about the sun in the 5th house and what somebody is like who's got this going on in the birth chart. So the sun is our ego, our vitality, our strength, our drive, our energy. You know, it's where we really want to show up. It has a lot to do with the personality and you know, our strengths and a lot of astrology is really known as, you know, the heart of the soul, and has a lot to do with, you know, how others see us and what we want. And the 5th house is, you know, the house of creativity, the house of children, the house of risk, gambling, fun and games, romance. It's a fun house. There's actually a lot that's encompassed in the 5th house. And so when we have the planet of, you know, our ego and our expression coming into the 5th house of fun and games and creativity, we generally see somebody that's very playful. They're very concerned with having fun. They can be very funny. Very warm. This tends to be a more extroverted placement. Now you have to look at everything because you might have like a Scorpio ascendant or something that, you know, no. You know, there's no extroversion there. But typically this is a more outgoing placement for the sun. So they tend to be athletic, that's something that they're just good at. They just tend to be good at using their bodies for, you know, athletic or like risky type stuff. I mean, these are the type of people that will be jumping out of an airplane and think that that's fun. Expression is very important for people with their sun in the 5th house. They tend to be great performers. They have a lot of you know, of need to, you know, show up. You know, this is, you know, the sun, our vitality. This is a lot of our personality and how we want to be seen. And in the house of creativity, they can be, you know, drawn to drama, all kinds of performing arts. They can be very artistic, very creative when we have the sun here. The sun has a lot to do with our creativity. And it does very well in the 5th house. This is, you know, the original, you know, house of the sun. You know, Leo originally rules this house. So, you know, when you think of 5th house things, you know, think Leo. And that'll give you a real hint about, you know, what somebody with their sun here is going to be like. There can be a lot of worship of the Father when we have the sun in the 5th house. Now, you have to look at everything because in these videos I teach you one thing at a time. And astrology is very multi-layered. You have to look at the entire birth chart. But you can't do that unless you learn one thing at a time. So that's what I teach you, one thing at a time. And then you put it all together and we have the larger picture. So you have to look at the aspects to the sun. You know, if there's hard aspects to the sun from, you know, Mars, Saturn, or Pluto, and the houses, you know, are right, then you're going to see somebody that, you know, is not a fan of the Father, even though the sun is in the 5th house. But you generally, if the sun is not afflicted, this is somebody that has a lot of love and a lot of their Father in them. Had a lot to do with how they, you know, learn to express themselves. Some of the more negative qualities, the men can be, especially Venus is in the 5th house with the sun, especially, you know, closely conjunct. We can see some vanity going on with people, especially with males with their sun in the 5th house with Venus conjunct. Females tend to be, expect that domestic life is going to revolve very much around them when they have their sun in the 5th house. And they tend to be very good mothers. They are very protective. They are very much into, both fathers and mothers, sun in the 5th house, very much into having fun with children. They live to have fun with children. They love that, and they will have fun with all children. They love everybody's kids. These are the parents that, you know, everybody's kids in the neighborhood, they want to be over at their house because they feel comfortable. The parents are affable, they're agreeable, they like to actually be involved in what's going on with the teenagers. So it's a great place for kids, you know, if you have your parents with the sun in the 5th house. They were generally very involved in the activities. Let's see. They tend to be risk takers, people with the sun in the 5th house. This is the house of risk. And this is, you know, what a lot of what we like to do is, you know, encompassed in the sun. You know, if Mars is an aspect to the sun, especially, we can see somebody that, you know, likes to have fun through the medium of risk-taking. You know, race car drivers, people that like to do vocational things that involve risk, they will often have their sun in the 5th house because they will be apt to do things that the rest of us are not going to do. We think that's crazy. But to them, it's fun and it comes naturally to them. They don't have a lot of, they don't have as much, they're not as careful with their bodies as other people. They tend to be just more prone to being, finding that risk is fun. So they tend, that's right, they tend to be very sexy. People with their sun in the 5th house. This is, you know, originally ruled by Leo, you know, this house. And, you know, with their expression here, these people just tend to have a very naturally sexy way about them. It's not something that they go out of their way to do. It's not something that they understand that they do. It is very natural. And there's a lot of instinct, too. People with their sun in the 5th house. They tend to operate on instinct, you know, more than logic, more than intuition. It's that instinct, that gut feeling is what really drives them and will inform a lot of their decisions. So this is my analysis of sun in the 5th house. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back with more super cool videos. Be sure to check out my business partner, Seth Roback. He is also on YouTube. He has a lot of synastry and family astrology videos, all kinds of unique videos as well. Very super cool. And you can find me on the internet at Truth in Aspect Astrology and on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology. And I'll be back soon, soon, soon. Bye-bye.